Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 20. We're going to be playing some more Montreal Expos baseball after an uneven season, I think it's fair to say. 74 and 88. And that was really because, as we keep running into, and I think this is going to continue to be an issue whenever we play as an expansion team, and that we just don't have depth. We don't. And we probably never will have depth because we're not getting a full minor league roster. Whereas if we look at, say, the Yankees, even they don't have a full minor league roster. So I guess maybe it's not so bad. Anyway, back to the Expos. Last season, we had some very good things happen and some things that weren't quite so good happen. Mostly and specifically the fact that we lost John Matlick for a pretty substantial portion of the season, and it basically crippled our pitching staff. We finished 5th in runs scored, which is pretty spicy. But as far as runs against, 11th. And I think it'll be better this year. But I also think it's something we need to invest in. Now, investing is still something we can't do yet. Yeah, I could get Ray Fosse, but who cares? I could get Mike Ferraro, but again, who cares? We don't have proper free agency yet. That's going to kick in at the end of this season. So we're going to want to keep that in mind as we play through the game. Our first task as general is to find ourselves a new coach. Cal, my friend, you were once manager of the Minnesota Twins, and now you're fine with being in Rookie League. You know what, mate? Let's get you a new job. Promoting you to manager at AAA Tacoma. And then we'll just find a new Rookie League manager. By the way, I have to say, it's absolutely hilarious to me how many people will take these really shitty jobs. Maybe this is even a bit of an exploit, but I don't really think it counts as one because it's not that powerful. But yeah, I can basically make anyone my coaching slave, and they can never leave because they always accept, almost always accept, your offers at the end of the season, which is pretty great. Oh god, that sounded disgusting. I apologize. So our pitching staff should be a bit better this year, but we really need some improvements to the bullpen. And we still have a black hole at third base. Admittedly, not as bad as it's been in the past, but still pretty crappy. And I think Bill Russell, you've peaked, my friend, and your peak isn't very high. So we could use a new third baseman, we could use a new shortstop. And looking to the future, we're probably also reaching a point where we might want to think about replacing Tony Perez. He's 32. Had a relatively bit of a down year for him last year. Still very productive. I'm still not going to complain about this production. But we might want to start thinking about finding a long-term replacement. We should have a top 10 pick. The question is whether there's going to be a player that's truly worthy of being added to our team. I think Durham would be an excellent addition to the bullpen, don't you? We also added last episode toward the end Ray Washburn, who I'm hoping can give us at least a season of relative excellence as a starting pitcher, and then we can go from there. Right, our decision is made. Let's check out the awards. I don't anticipate we'll win any. Not so good overall the season was. Let's get some. Let's get some Pepsi Zero Sugar. Not sponsored. Because I am diabetic and I need to stay out of sugar. Do I do it? My friends, I don't always do it. But I try. And isn't that just as good as actually doing it? Probably not. But that's alright. And we won 0 awards this year. Which seems totally fair to me because you probably didn't deserve any. Let's look at this. Let's look at this draft pool and salivate over players who probably won't be able to get. Oh boy, Art Howe. Yeah, the top players will seem to be in no particular order. Look, mate, in absolutely no draft in the history of baseball would Art Howe be considered one of the top 10. It's just not true, mate. Got ourselves some Chet Lemon, some Jack Clark, Ellis Valentine, Roy Smalley III. He'd be pretty spicy if he fell to us. So there are some genuinely good players in here. Art Howe is not one of them. Sorry, Art. Not sorry. Hall of Fame voting. A trade proposal, you say, San Diego. You will send me a mediocre reliever for mediocre players. A no. Not interested, San Diego. Now, so next season is going to be the one where free agency becomes a thing. And we're probably going to have to make some interesting choices. But maybe we could win the World Series before that. I don't have a lot of hope that that's a possibility, but you never know. Sure. Jim Bunning, have my vote. I can vote for 10. I'm going to keep up voting for these underappreciated pitchers. I love me some Eddie Matthews and some Willie Mays. I'll vote for Minnie Minoso, more for his contributions to the game than out of any tremendous ability of his own. Kurt Simmons. That seems fine. I do like Mike Garcia, but I also don't think he really deserves voting glory. To the draft, my friends. To the draft. They still think of Art Howe as one of the 10 best players in the draft. This might be a really terrible draft. Maybe that's the issue, but I doubt it is. I said top 10 and we got exactly 10. Okay. Maybe not quite as valuable as a top 10 pick in the NFL, but let's see what we might have to pick through. So let's assume for the moment that of these top ones, only of all these blue dudes, Larry Anderson is probably the only one I would expect would be available by the time we pick. And I'm not taking a reliever with the 10th pick. Roy Smalley is very much within our grasp. Now, he's still fairly raw, though. But that could be fine. And he plays third and shortstop equally well, filling potentially one, if not two, of our problem areas. He had himself some good seasons in the majors. Nowhere near Hall of Fame worthy, but still a very productive career. And he might be the kind of fellow who you'd want to add to our team. So there are options available to us. I would like another pitcher We've got John Candelario, we've got Pete Vukovich, and we've got Mike Norris. Bob Baylor can play all the positions but can't hit very well, which is fun. There's Ellis Valentine, who'd be a nice little right fielder if we didn't already have quite a few quality outfielders. So, alright. I feel pretty good about the options we've got. Let's go ahead and sim to our pick. Alright, who's the asshole who took Roy Smalley? I am not happy. Baltimore. You freaking jerks. You already have Bucky Dent. And Dom Buford. Okay, Dom Buford's pretty shit. Alright. I hate you so much, Baltimore. I hate you so very much. So, this creates an issue. And that issue is that the positions I desperately need to fix are ones I can't fix in this draft. So I think we're going to go pitcher. We could grab Larry Anderson. I'd kind of like to see if he'll be available with the second round, and then I can just stick him in the minors for a couple of years and see how he turns out. So between Candelaria and Vukovich, who is the better pitcher? Right, Candelaria. His control's going to get better. His stuff will probably get better. He's got a decent mix of pitches. Only 3 good ones, but for a starter, that's really all you need. He's a big boy, which means he could put on a bit more velocity. He's got reasonable stamina. Vukovich is a one-trick pony, and that he's very good at keeping the ball in the park. He might improve in a couple of other ways. He's got really good stamina, but he's only got 1+ pitch, which is his fastball. And then 2 mediocre pitches. I think this is a no-brainer. I think we take Candelaria. Like, I know he's going to struggle a bit with home runs, but he's clearly the better of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and draft us some John Candelaria. Anderson's gone. But Pablo Torrealba is not gone. But, okay. We have Jerry Ramey. I know K is second baseman, but we've got Dave Cash, so we don't need a second baseman. Denny Walling. Walling's a bit of a project. If his contact gets to this level, he'll probably hit well enough to carry a great glove, but he's also a mediocre glove. What about Butch here? Butch looks like he's quite a talented hitter potentially, but can't really play third base all that well. Could make him a first baseman, I suppose. Alright. I mean, I don't really want Denny Walling for a couple of reasons. And Hobson's really a first baseman, I think. But he'd be a fairly good one. I don't want Jim Umbarger. Taking Jim here, we basically would be betting that he's going to improve his velocity and therefore his stuff. Like, he could be perfectly competent, but I think that's his upside. Unless we get the significant improvement to his potential, which could happen, but probably won't. Wait, have we been scouting with OSA? No, we haven't been. Okay. Okay, apparently we were, because you'll notice this entire list just changed. There is Dave Heaverlow. You could be a very good hitter, but you're also not really a catcher. But you could be a third baseman or a first baseman. Same issue that we would have had with the other guy. We'd really need someone who could put some heat on his fastball. And Rodney Scott's an objectively bad hitter. And there's Doug Flynn again. So this is an interesting question for us to ponder. Pokoraba here is a pretty good hitter. I don't think there's a lot of dispute about that. At least he got the potential to be a good hitter. He's going to make good contact. He's going to draw a lot of walks, rarely strike out. He's going to get on base and probably hit 5 to 10 home runs a year if it all pans out for him. In real life, he had a very minimal career. It looks like he just couldn't break through and get much playing time. But he was always very good at drawing walks. Like, check this out. A 188 batting average where you also still get a 265 OBP is pretty crazy. I think we're going to draft him. None of the other players here really stand out to me, and I think his upside is interesting. Let's shortlist him, and we'll draft him. Boop. I would like to improve our relieving core. But we have we have our choice of 3 pitchers who can't strike people out. Which I'm not loving. Well, let's grab Doug Flynn. I don't know that I would start him, but he could be a nice break glass in case of injury middle infielder. And we don't have very many of those. I went to a college with a guy whose name was Dan Briggs. He wasn't a baseball player, so... I mean, he's not a terrible choice. There's also Kerry Dineen's amazing center field ability and complete inability to hit baseballs. I'll grab him. Mostly because of my old college friend. And then we're at the awful portion of the draft where everyone is equally terrible. This is fine. This isn't the draft I was hoping for. Because Baltimore is a stupid jerk. But that's fine. I'm not bitter, Baltimore. I'm not bitter at all. Okay, you guys know me. You know that I'm actually extremely bitter, but that's fine. Smalley would have been the ideal pick. So we still have the same 2 issues that we did before. We still have a weak third base and a weak shortstop. I don't object to Leo Foster getting another season. He's got some room to grow. He might put on a bit of weight. He might hit the ball a bit harder. And he plays the position well enough that I've got no objection to him continuing his career with us. I don't like the errors, but we're also still at that time in Major League history where errors were relatively more common than they are now. So I'm not too upset about that. Wasn't a great draft, you guys. We could have done... but I don't think we could have done better either. I think this was very much a broad draft that didn't have a lot of depth. That doesn't make any sense. It was a broad draft that didn't have a very high ceiling, except for the first couple of players. That's what I was going for. That didn't make any sense. But you might say, Avi, you don't make any sense. And, that could be fair. Alright, Candelaria. I'm going to start you in AAA. I'm not going to rush you. Flynn, start you in AA. Miley, you're fine in rookie ball. You're a shortstop who can't play shortstop, so I don't even know what I'm expecting to get from you. Besides nothing. We are 7th in the Rule 5. I don't think that's going to be a big deal, but it could be, I guess. The thing is, there's usually only 1 or 2 really solid players in the draft, and, Like, I could reach Max Avi and have both Carlton Fisk and Thurman Munson, but really, why would I bother? Tony Canigliaro kind of sucks. It's mostly crappy outfielders. There's Tom Satriano, who can't play third. My scout wants me to take Gene Heiser, and I don't know why, so I'm going to say skip. And I'm just going to skip. And scout, really, that was a stupid decision. I don't know what's wrong with you. To spring training we go. I mean, I guess Candelaria is clearly better in every conceivable way than Steve Klein. I'll probably let Steve Klein get some, or not Steve Klein, sorry, Candelaria get some pitching in the minors. Go and start at A-ball. Pokaroba. Alright, there are 2 things I want you to do, my friend. First, I want you in A-ball. And I want you to play first base. I want you to get some experience playing first, simply because you don't have the skill set to play third or short. Or catcher, rather. Hall of Fame voting. Mays and Matthews both made it. Mike Garcia didn't even crack 5%, which is fair, I guess. Ooh, he's raised my budget. Thank you, owner person. It's offering me Al Bunbury, Steve Swisher, and Gary Ryerson for Dave Cash. A no. I appreciate you're giving Dave Cash the respect he deserves and offering me 3 players for him. But I would need, like, top quality prospects to even think about moving Cash. Which I'm not really thinking about doing. Okay. Let's get some spring training invites handed out. Candelaria. Durham. I think that's fair for right now. Flynn. Nah. Candelaria pitched for the Dodgers, didn't he? At the very end of his career. No, I guess he is most known for playing for the Pirates. That's fine. And as usual, let's make our bench coach feel hopeful. Give us all them charts. And then I will break everything when the season itself starts. For a drink. We're kicking some major ass in spring training, which again counts for precisely nothing. But it is a bit, encouraging. Some slight improvements. Candelaria. Holy shit, dude. Like, Candelaria is saying, I'm going to be on the opening day roster, and I'm not disagreeing with him. Stanhouse had a pretty good spring, looks like. John Vukovic is still pretty terrible. Okay. Look at you getting better. Alright. We still have a few more games to play, so that's what we'll do. Let's sim to Friday, April 4th, 1975. When I was still -7 years old. -8, actually, because I was born in November. 37 players. I have a feeling the vast majority of these are pitchers, and they are. Alright. Arlen. Minors. Fryman. Still injured. McQueen. Genuinely terrible. In fact, I'm going to start taking some of these guys off the 40-man, which is getting a bit crowded. McQueen. I'm going to designate you for assignment. McGinn. I'm going to designate you for assignment. Kester. We'll talk later. Simpson I'll just send to the minors. York to the minors. Alright, yeah, Kester. I'm not keeping you. Just for the lulz, you have just enough value that I might be able to get something in exchange if I traded you. I get a relatively decent outfielder that I don't need. Another relatively decent outfielder that I don't need. Yep. Uh-huh. Like, appreciating the fact that I could at least get something for him, I'm also not clear that any of this is actually something that I want. So I think we'll just go ahead and waive him, and if someone takes him, they take him. What's that bring me down to in pitchers? 15. I still need to send 3 more away. Let's let Durham get a bit more polish. But I think he'll probably make the roster at some point this year. Klein had an objectively terrible year last year. I'm going to try to trade him. I'll even throw in veterans. I'll even take on some salary if I can get a good fit for either third base or shortstop. Avi, how about you start, you numbnuts, by setting it to infielders so you have fewer names to go through. That was pretty dumb. Grabarkowitz can hit but can't field. There is Ken McMullen, who's a very good defensive third baseman who's got a bit of pop and can draw some walks. Justak can't play third that well. Let's take a chance, actually. Like, his defense has been so good that he's carried his bat. And his bat isn't that objectionable. Let's give it a shot. Let's do it. Hey, fans like Ken McMullen for some reason. Good for them. Pitching. Still want to get rid of at least one more pitcher. Candelaria, you've made the roster. Congratulations. Um... I still want more on the roster. I think he's got a lot to offer us as a relief pitcher. I truly do. Um... Moffitt, my dude. I gotta send you back to the minors. Oh, and we need to add McMullen to the roster. Alright. Enough people have inquired about Ken Wrights that I wonder what I could get for him. Prospects only, please. Honestly, for an interesting relief pitcher, I'll flip him. Herb Hudson, absolutely. Done. What else we got? And you still need to send Gary 2 players. Silverio's an obvious choice. I'd love to get rid of Don Wirt, but I doubt anyone would take him. Let's trade Charlie Manuel, actually. And again, I'm only looking at prospects. Okay, I'd have to step it up a bit. I can't shop anyone else today. That's fine. Opening day is not for another day. So I'm just going to finish the day and then shop again. Yeah, I'm pretty much getting overpriced veterans, and that's all I'm going to get if I trade Charlie Manuel. What if I traded Wirt? I've got a sneaking suspicion that the answer to that question is going to be even less. I could bring in Frank Robinson, but he's definitely seen better days. Yeah, it's basically the same issue. Whichever one of you two jerks I get rid of. Would you take a demotion? You won't. Fine, you made my decision for me. A goodbye. So Charlie Manuel weirdly makes the opening day roster. I didn't expect that. We probably have too many outfielders, but... I mean... With Russell Manning short, I could easily have Foster just kind of be the ultimate utility guy. I'd like to have a second utility infielder, in all honesty. Do we have a good candidate for that? We got Flynn, but he only plays second and short. Vukovic only plays third. I mean, at the end of the day, utility infielders aren't hard to come by. I think we'll be fine for the moment. Make Charlie Manuel play some shortstop. He'll be fine. Opening day. I think I ended up with Ken McMullen in my last playthrough, too. We still have one more team, by the way, that has the same 1969 start. Not 69, sorry. When did the Expos get founded? League history. No, 69. Yeah, we still have one more 1969 team together that hasn't won the World Series, which is the San Diego Padres. So that'll be the series after this one. And then we'll finally be moving farther ahead in history. So we'll get a little bit more variety in our starts. Oh no. People really like Mike McQueen for some reason. Like, I get the dude throws, like, can strike people out and throws really hard. But I genuinely don't see the appeal to him unless you just have the worst bullpen. Which maybe you do. Top 100 prospects. None of them play for me. I probably like the worst minor league system report. No, they're really like John Candelaria, who helps us out a bit. Otherwise, I would be toward the bottom. This is life, my friends. Alright, let's nuke it all. Alright. Who's our best overall hitter? And is it still Dave Winfield? I think it is. I think he's the most complete hitter. He's got good contact, good gap power, good power, a pretty good batting eye, and doesn't strike out much. Davey boy, you're gonna be our 3 hitter. I like the Cash Washington pairing at the top of the order. At least against right-handed pitching. And then and then what? Perez and Munson? Do we just go back to that old game? I think that works. Okay. Sixth place hitter McMullen. Russell playing, then Russell at short will bat 8th, and Sharp playing center field will bat 7th. No, there. That's your starting lineup for your 1974 Montreal Expos. And what's my depth chart? You really want me to play Foster at short? I don't object to that, but I don't want him playing that frequently. I also don't want playing Managwal like once or twice a week at right field. Let's make it every 5th game. Because Washington's got a pretty big hole in his swing when it comes to facing left-handed pitching, so he's not going to be playing every day anyway. Let's copy this lineup and let's switch to left-handed pitching and paste it in. All right, now Managwal is going to be my right fielder against left-handed pitching. That goes without saying. And then I think I swap you and Munson, because I think Munson is my other really good second place hitter. Give me a depth chart. And again, if you want to start Foster once a week, I'm not going to say no to that. So this is our team. We're putting an awful lot on Foster to be a backup for every position, but I also don't mind that for now. Pitching. Okay, we always start with the ace, and we're going to go... always start highest rested, I guess is fine for the moment. Matlick is slipping a bit, but I think he's still clearly our best starter. I think Caldwell's still a good number 2. Candelaria is going to be our new number 3. Who's actually better? We'll say Sparma then Washburn. There we go. Relievers. I think Allen still needs to be our closer. But I don't think I'm going to make him the stopper anymore. I think he's getting into too many games, and I think his effectiveness is wearing down a bit. So I'm going to make you a closer, but I'm not going to make you a stopper. I will say you can come in the 8th inning, but you're going to be a pure closer. For those of you, and I've been covering this quite regularly, but in case you missed it, a stopper is basically the way that the Indians used Andrew Miller in 2016, where anytime there was a fire, he would come on and pitch for like an inning and a half. And he wasn't the closer. He didn't get to say that was Cody Allen's job. But Andrew Miller would come in all kinds of weird situations just because he was the first man out. Which also used to be classically how relievers were used. There wasn't such a thing as a closer. You would only have a pitching staff of about 7 or 8 guys, most of whom were starters. But you'd have that one fireman, which is what they used to call him. And this pitcher's melting down. I need you to pitch this key inning, and then we'll bring in one of the other starters maybe to finish out the game. That's what he would do. Okay, he's clearly our best reliever. Let's go Thompson and Moore for our setup guys. Greg Garrett is my anti-lefty specialist plus some middle relief. Arago's going to be a long reliever, emergency starter. Horner can be a middle reliever, and I think he'd actually be a fairly decent one. I'm going to go ahead and make you a middle reliever, and then we'll do the same for short. There we go. I'm comfortable with this. It's opening day. We play the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got our lineup set. We've got our rotation set. Let's do this. Hey, we won the opening day game. 2 people got designated for assignment and nobody wanted them. What a shock. God damn it, McGinn. You have to have a major league contract, don't you? You gone. Alright. I certainly did not expect we'd start the year off 9-0, by the way. That was not a prediction that I was going to make. It looks like Dave Cash is on one of his crazy cycles again where he's just hitting everything. Oh, damn, a cycle for Pokoroba. Nice. A shutout for Matlick, shutout for Sparma, shutout for Caldwell. I think everyone but Washburn has gotten at least one shutout. That's pretty exciting, actually. Nice. I'm not going to rush you, by the way. I'm going to let you get a chance to improve a bit. Okay, I clearly did not expect us to go 14-4 in our first 18 games. I'm going to ignore it and just go right to the next month, though. Because we don't have enough data to make a meaningful analysis of our actual abilities as a baseball team yet. Okay, Sparma's out for 5 weeks. This is a shame, but it's what happened. Next man up. They've been having Kester start games, which is pretty hilarious, but, you know. I guess we could just, you know what, let's call up Dunham. And let's move Arlen to, Arago to the 4th starter spot. I think he could hold it down for a bit. Are any of my relievers a potential, have the stamina to maybe fill in? Yeah. More, I'm going to make you... Oh, I got to leave you where you are. You're the only competent reliever right now. Damn. Let's just continue as is for right now. A personal message. What is it? Oh, player development. Okay. We're the #1 team. Nice. Washburn's getting a bit worse. He is pretty old. Sparma's a little bit better. Greg Garrett has taken kind of a big leap forward in his pitching ability. Don Durham seems to be enjoying his time in the majors. Leo Foster's getting a bit better. Charlie Manuel's getting better despite the fact he's not really playing. Jim York got a good bit better. That's fine. Dave Winfield is May's best batter. Candelaria is the best pitcher. Oh, he's Rookie of the Month. Okay. Now, Pocoroba's hitting quite well, but he's not hitting for power. So I think we're going to let him stew a little bit more in the minors. Bill, how's your scouting looking? Your overall's all over the place, but it looks like you're on a slight decline. I'm going to promote you to AA just because you've been in single A now for almost a full season, and I just want to see if you're just not being challenged enough. Okay, let's look at the team. Thurman's hitting out of his goddamn mind. We'll just start with that. There's always that potential with this team. I have several players who are just such good hitters that they could just explode, and it looks like it's Munson's turn. Do I think he'll hit 400 the rest of the way? Almost certainly not. But right now, he is pretty damn awesome. Perez's decline does continue a bit, but it looks like it's going to be a soft landing. It's not going to be a crash, and I'm okay with that, especially since I don't have a good replacement. As long as he lands softly, I'll get another good year or two out of him if I need it. Winfield continues to be exceptional. There's no shock there. Pitching, the starters have it together. The bullpen is still pretty meh. I will never find out why Lloyd Allen always starts off so shitty at the beginning of a season and then takes like half the season to sort it out. He's got 10 saves already, so I guess I shouldn't be too hard on the dude. Yeah, he's given up homers at a pretty frightening rate. I hope he gets that under control. Mike Thompson hasn't really pitched all that much, so that's a problem with bullpens, though, is it takes them a while to figure out what they can and can't do. So let's continue. Like, I don't want to be a pessimist, but I doubt that this rate is going to continue the whole season. And now we lost Ray Washburn. So what's basically going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and just roll with 4 starters until Sparma gets back. And then I'll just activate Sparma. And Sparma is now back. And we'll throw him in as the 5th starter. I have a very left-handed rotation, which I did not anticipate. That's pretty crazy. Yep, see, Allen's figured his shit out. As we expected he would. We just had to have a bit more faith in him. Horner. Bit of a spike in the home run rate this year, which is 2 instead of 1. It's really hard to evaluate bullpen guys. It's easy to see when they're like nuclear hot, but it's hard to see when they're actually doing badly. Well, Briggs is having a fairly nice start to his minor league career. Good job, Briggsy. Aw, poor Bill Travers. He's having a good season. Candelaria's Rookie of the Month again. Bam, bam. Briggs is hitting so well. I think he's earned a promotion to Double A. If I had a bigger minor league system, I probably wouldn't be quite as aggressive as I have been recently with promotions, but I don't have one, so I'm going to be a bit more circumspect. Okay. I did not anticipate this season. This is just absolutely mind-bogglingly insane. I love it, but it's insane. Like, our bullpen is still pretty janky, and we're probably going to shift some people around. Ballard, my dude. Maybe I need to make you a long reliever and just take some of the pressure off of you. But I mean, we have Mike Caldwell's microscopic ERA, which I didn't expect. John Candelaria's coming and basically been, yeah, I'm pretty damn good at pitching. Thurman Munson is only hitting .385. Dave Cash is back to his ridiculous batting average. We've got a more ridiculous one from Claudel Washington. Every member of the starting lineup besides Ken McMullen's hitting at least 300. I don't know how Bill Russell figured out hitting all of a sudden, but apparently threatening his job was the ticket. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Okay. Ballard. Long relief. Emergency starter. I'm just going to leave the one setup guy for now. I don't really think we need to. And then we'll just let the three of you pitch as you need to. Maybe use Durham a bit more. And Horner's proven that he's having issues pitching this year. So we're going to say avoid high leverage. There we go. Hopefully changing our usage patterns a bit in the bullpen will carry us through. I genuinely don't know what's going on this season, but I'm not going to question it. And we're just going to move on with our lives. Oh, that's why you told me, because Mike McQueen was part of it. Okay. Let's offer all the minor leaguers new contracts. Okay. You've got a really good relationship with two of my more important pitchers, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you back Adam Martin. Kevin. You know what? You're helping the right people. So I'm also going to bring you back. Team trainer we might try to replace. I can bring the assistant GM for a bit longer. The important thing is no one's allowed to make more money than me, because I'm doing 2 jobs. Shut out from Matlick. 5 for 6 from Thurman Munson. Alright. Let's take a look. Really? Jerry Arrigo makes the All-Star team. Okay. Alright. Caldwell, Matlick both make it. Munson is a starting catcher, as he deserves. Dave Cash is a starter. Tony Perez is a starter. Dave Winfield's a starter. Claudel freaking Washington's a starter. That's insane. This is easily the best year in our franchise's history. And let's keep going. Do we actually need Ray Washburn back for right now? I don't think we do. I'm going to put him on a rehab assignment. Because I can do that for 30 days. And then I can decide later on if and when I want to bring him back. 500 career wins. Nice. Pokaroba. He's actually enjoying quite a productive year. But I think I'm just going to let him stay there. Most importantly, are you learning first base? Where have you been playing him? You've been playing him at catcher. An interesting idea. Please stop doing that. I'm going to force you to play him at first. Like, I want to make this extremely clear to you. He is not to play catcher. He's really terrible at it. Like this, he's literally, if we accept zone writing as gospel, I don't necessarily do it, but I think in this case it might be appropriate. He's cost his team 4 wins. He is an objectively terrible catcher. Let's not do that, please. Is it worth trading? The thing is, right now, everyone is so nuclear hot. Like, even Ken McMullen, who's probably the one position I could maybe upgrade, is doing what I'm asking him to do. He's playing good defense, and he's hitting well. Or he's hitting for power, rather. I can check the trading block, but I doubt there's going to be anyone I'm going to want to grab. Okay, maybe Eric Soderholm. But I don't think you'd trade him for me anyway. I don't think Chicago would give him to me. What if I just start throwing minor leaguers at you? And Ken McMullen. And I will eat his entire salary. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Oh my god. I really, really like Mangual. But, look, this is a chance to get not a good, but a legitimately great third baseman. And I've got outfielders in the minors. Oh, God. The thing is, Montreal could be so good. So, okay, here's the thing. Here's why I'm willing to bet against him a bit. He's being protected right now. He's not facing right-handed pitching very often. His primary skill is plate discipline, and this year he's hitting for a good bit of power. But this is a good season to push in all my chips. And upgrading third base would be pushing in all of my chips. Oh my God, this is such a gutsy move. I need to take stock. Is this the right move for this club? First of all, can I make this trade in the offseason? I mean, does it make us better now to have him replacing McMullen? Do you have an outfielder that I could grab? All right, so let's talk. Let's put together this deal that you want. Will you throw in a right-handed outfielder to get me through the rest of the season? I know you won't give me George Foster, so I won't even bother asking. Would you? Would you? No. Okay. What about Greg Lazinski? No, I'd have to throw in an amazing player to get Lazinski. And you're not going to give me Dwight Evans either. I'm not even going to waste my time asking about that. But you might throw in Jim Dwyer, who's a left-handed hitter. Shit. Oh, God. This is why managers get the... This is why GMs get the big bucks, you guys. Do I make this deal? This is a blockbuster. How badly will we be hurting ourselves if we just made, say, Claudel Washington play every day, rather than letting Montreal play against righties? I don't know, you guys, but here are the two things that are making me think. And maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe by the time I finish a video, you'll be like, "Wow, Avi, that was an obvious decision. You should have just done this decision." Does OSA think something about him that we don't? OSA thinks his batting average is better than our scout does, but otherwise it tracks pretty well. Okay. What does Montreal give to our team? He's a good outfielder who hits for a good bit of power, draws walks, and is right now a platoon hitter. His ceiling, maybe he's consistently a 280 hitter, maybe he's not. That part is unclear. Okay. That's what we have in Montreal. Also a tremendous amount of speed that he isn't using for some reason. What does Soderholm give us? One of the best third basemen in the league. A great power hitter. Someone who probably is a little bit better of a contact hitter. Yeah. OSA loves him. This seems like a no-brainer to me. A truly elite everyday third baseman in exchange for a bit of spare parts and a good outfielder. Done. So Soderholm's apparently a bit of an asshole. That's fine. Wait, who else did I trade? Oh, McMullen. Yeah. I don't really have an outfielder that's ready to take that role. It's a couple like Doug Flynn and just have him be like a backup second baseman shortstop. Done. Alright. Soderholm. No, not Soder. Not Bill Russell. You're going to be a sixth hitter. I don't have a need for you to hit any higher than that. I think sixth is perfectly acceptable for you and your talents. You can hit fifth against left-handed pitching. I'm fine with that. Actually, this might expose Washington, but I think we have to do it for right now because I just don't have a better choice. Give me that new depth chart. And again, once a week for Foster is fine. And again, once a week for Foster is fine. Okay. Let's get it done. Whew. That was a big deal. Both literally and figuratively. But I think it's really good for this team. Leo Foster's getting quite a bit better. Claudel Washington's getting better. Mike Miley's been a surprisingly good hitter, which is not something I expected. Why is he not playing first? Maybe he just haven't had enough time yet. That, you know what? It's only been one day. That's fair. Next month, please. I mean, we have a pretty ridiculous lead in the NL East. I think we've pretty much got the playoffs locked up. I don't know which starter I would send down. Maybe Sparma. Who's objectively the worst? You know what? Moore. I'm going to send him down. I'm going to let him get some experience. And then I'm going to let Washburn fill in as long relief emergency starter. Maybe if Moore gets some more pitching time, he'll get his control under control. Plus, I'm just going to call him right back up as soon as rosters expand. Which they just did. So let's bring him back. Hi, Baller. Please be a long relief emergency starter. Anyone else I'd like to call up? Sure, we can let Moffat get some middle relief innings in here and there. Hudson, sure, you can pitch an A-ball now, I guess. You want me to promote Pokoroba? Let's do it. I'm not sending him to AAA. I'm very much putting him in AA. Delete all the messages. And then you're just going to be a middle reliever, Randy Moffat. Thank you, by the way, to the commenter who pointed out that Randy Moffat's actually the brother of Billie Jean King. I didn't know that. It's a cool fact. Okay, there we go. We finally made it. Hey, Woody Fryman's back. Hooray. Long relief. Avoid high leverage. And an ERA crown. Nice. And another batting title for Dave Cash. Well done, Dave. Oh, Thurman Munson cooled off. He only hit 351. What a loser. Alright. Before we start the playoffs, let's soak this in, right? Let's soak in how absolutely amazing this season was. Let's start with the lineup, right? 4 players worth 7-ish wins or higher. 4. The player we traded for, Eric Soderholm, has basically been gangbuster since he came over to Montreal. Dave Cash is in one of his insane years where he just hits so often that he just naturally pulls up a bunch of stats. Dave Winfield hit 39 homers and led the league in RBI, which is a junk stat, but it's still cool. Thurman Munson cooled off and still had the best season of his career in the majors. You can argue 71 was a little better in some ways. But Claudel Washington had another very fine year, hitting 14 home runs. Again, Tony Perez's decline is a very gentle one. You'll notice his homers are turning into doubles, which is fine. But Bill Russell came out of nowhere to actually be a competent hitter, which is frankly shocking to me. Bill Sharp was league average as a hitter. This was a great season. A genuinely great offensive season. But then we have John fucking Matlick, who's like, oh, I was hurt last year. Let me throw 300 innings and lead the league in ERA and in WAR. This is going to be a Cy Young for him, I think. Candelaria, very strong position for Rookie of the Year. Mike Caldwell's random ERA fluctuations went in his favor this year. I am legit excited about our chances in the playoffs. Although we can't get too excited, right? We can't get too excited because I've had a habit of getting burned in the playoffs. So I'm going to say this was objectively a great season, and then I'm going to back away a bit. Oh, and Matlick is ready for game 1. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Here we go. Texas, Cleveland, Houston, and Montreal. Wabam. A home win. Matlick wasn't great, but he didn't have to be. Because we rocked Rochelle pretty hardcore. Thurman Munson got a homer. Another close win. This is an offensive slugfest, which is fine with me. But I would like to see... Oh, actually, it wasn't Caldwell's fault. It was Ray Washburn, who just got lit up. Well, that's fine. Well, bam! Sweep. World Series. Oh, Thurman Munson, my dude. Was this an extra innings game? It was. It was... Oh, look at that rally by Houston in the 8th. And then Lloyd Allen. I always call him Latrice. Why do I call him Latrice, guys? Why do I call him that? Whoever can answer that for me, I will be your best friend. Maybe. No-hit hitting. Sure. From Lloyd Allen. Okay. Wabam. Dominated. Don't make me play Cleveland. Damn it. My loyalties are so divided. No, they're not. Until next playoff round. Here we go, guys. World Series. Montreal's never been here. Oh, damn. All right, we lost the first game, but that's okay. Matlick threw a complete game. Wish you hadn't pitched quite so much, but that's all right. Come on, Expos. No! Oh, God, it's happening again. Come on. Oh, my God, what the hell? Why do my teams suck in the postseason? This is ridiculous. Come on. I understand that there's randomness involved, but... yeah, we just got destroyed. Hooray for Cleveland, but shit. Guys, this was probably our golden opportunity to win a World Series, and my payroll's going to be insane when we start free agency. That was bullshit, guys. We just absolutely shit the bed on offense. Again. Why do my teams never hit in the playoffs? Thurman Munson disappeared. Dave Winfield disappeared. Dave Cash disappeared. Guys, this can't happen. Guys, I was really excited. I thought we had a chance, and then we just got destroyed because we stopped hitting. Why does this always happen with my teams? Where my teams just decide that the World Series or the playoffs in general is, nah, offense is optional. We're not going to hit anymore. Arago, to be fair, should not have been pitching in Game 4 in an elimination game. That should have been Matlick again. I'll take the blame for that. But, my lord. My lord. Congratulations, Cleveland. I wish we'd made a better series of it. But we are better. The real question is going to be, can I even afford to pay this roster the giant amount of money that is going to be required? Has free agency still not happened yet? My scouting director retired. I'll need to get a new scouting director. Maybe the 76 offseason is the first one. I don't remember. I'm increasing ticket prices by 25 cents. Wow. That was a kick in the junk. But we're not going to win 107 games again. I don't think. We'll have to see what happens, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying the series thus far. Even with that disappointed ending. We're going to continue next week with more Montreal Expos action. And see if we can make the playoffs again. But more importantly, figure out how to hit in the playoffs. Which is apparently my Achilles heel. Until next time, thank you for watching. This has been a Vindian. And I bid you good day.